It's go time.
Bing, with triplethreattalk. Bing, what call? It's back. What call? Yeah, I'm excited for some football. Football. Yeah!
Are you ready? Ready.
For some football.
Fellas. Fail.
And welcome everyone to the Triple Threat Talk 2013 football special. So it is finally here. It is finally here.
Yes.
Football is upon us.
It is.
So as we have done for the past few years, we're gonna break it down. Probably give you guys some good predictions. Last few years, I've been proud to say that a lot of our predictions regarding the football season have indeed come true.
Last year, I was completely 100% on the mark with Seattle.
Yeah, you were.
We were all on the mark with Kansas City.
Yeah. The Vikings made the playoffs, as we had said.
I don't think anyone's predicted Adrian Peterson to be that epic.
Yeah. So, guys, it's always a long special. Let's start it.
Kick it off.
Where are we starting with, Big
AFC North.
AFC North.
So first off, we start with the defending Super Bowl champion, the Baltimore
We're starting out with the champs.
The Ravens.
They don't look so much like the champs right now.
They look like the chumps.
Ray Lewis retiring, Ed Reed going to the Texans, and Bowlen going to San Francisco. A lot of key pieces for the Ravens are missing.
Here's the deal.
They do have Joe Flacco. They give him the monster
Ray
contract.
Rice.
They have Ray Rice.
Jacoby Jones.
They have Dallas Clark.
Torrey Smith.
Brandon Stokely. Dennis Pitt is out for the year.
And they still got some guy named Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh.
John
Harbaugh.
Watch it there. So, they've lost a lot of key personnel in their defense. The last few years, other than Joe Flacco and Ray Rice, the terms that you always associated with Baltimore were Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. Mm-hmm. Now Ray Lewis is gone, and Terrell Suggs, excuse me. Now Ray Lewis is gone, Ed Reed is gone. So, the defense is not so stellar right now. I'm looking for the Ravens to finish third or even fourth in the division this year.
I don't know about third. That's rough. I mean, it's tough because
to me, I've made no mistake about saying it. I'm pretty big on Cleveland this year. I strongly believe that Cleveland has finally got the pieces together. They've got a nice young quarterback. He's not stellar.
What's young about him?
I was being a little bit facetious, but he is good. That is fact.
I wouldn't say he's good either.
He's up here. Trent Richardson's going to help carry the load. They picked up a couple wide receivers. I think Cleveland has it in them to make the playoffs this year, not as a winner of the division, but as a wild card.
So
the AFC overall this year is going to be incredibly weak. You're going to have the standout teams in each of the conferences, and then you're going to find one or two other slackers, not slackers, but one or two other teams that can make the playoffs.
So what is the Baltimore record for you?
For me, I'm looking at Baltimore 7-9.
I actually was looking at the schedule while we were talking, trying to calculate wins and losses. I actually have them 8-8. I really have them dead even.
Looking at the schedule, like you said, they've lost a lot of key pieces. I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't even think they're going to be the wild card. I say 8-8 as well.
Yep.
Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think those are your division winners right there. Dalton and AJ Green are just a phenomenal team. They're developing big chemistry. I look at this Bengals team and I easily see 10-6.
I don't mean to interject, but as previous football specials, every time we mention a team, you see on the graphic screen the schedule and everything like usual. So, did you give a record?
Yeah, 10-6, 11-5, somewhere in there. They easily win this division.
I'm going for the record if you want to go.
I don't see the Bengals getting 11-5 or 10-6. The Bengals are going to be much improved. They may finish second or third in the wild card, in the division. They're going to be right there with Baltimore, I think. I'm looking at more of probably 9-7 at best, maybe 8-8.
I'm going 10-6. I think this is the best team in this division. It's their division to lose. I think every team in that division is behind them in terms of where they reach the table.
If you look at the broad spectrum of things, Baltimore's in shambles, Pittsburgh is old, and Cleveland has it together. Cleveland definitely has it in them to compete with the Bengals.
But I think the Bengals are clearly the best team in this division. That's why I'm going 10-6. I have them winning the division. So.
The Cleveland Browns are the third team out of this division. Like you said, you're very high on the Browns. You've made no bones about it. They got they open up at home against the Miami Dolphins, which I think they could win that very easily. Then they go on the road to Baltimore. That is a toss-up right now, I think. And then they're back at home against the Vikings, and then the Battle of Ohio for the fourth game, their first game against the Bengals. So they got I think other than their two division games, they could very easily win their two non-division games to start the year.
They could go 3-1 to start the year, with their only loss being Cincinnati. They could very well go. If they go 3-1 to start the year, I think that they've made a prominent first step to competing in this division.
Looking at their schedule, though, I see a lot of teams on there. They play an extremely tough
my
schedule.
is not even close to what yours is.
Yeah, like
my record.
I'm saying this team 9-7, 10-6, 9-7.
I say 6-10, maybe 7-9 at best.
You guys are being really generous. I swear I'm looking through the schedule. I'll go real fast. I have Miami. That's a loss.
That's a win.
I say loss.
That's a win.
I say Baltimore. That's
the toss up. I'm saying yes.
It's tough because Minnesota's very good. I don't think they beat Cincinnati at all, period.
No, yeah, I agree on that one. 100%.
Detroit, I think, is better than them.
I don't think so.
Green Bay's going to destroy them.
Yeah, Green Bay's
I think the Chiefs are better than they are.
I don't.
I have them at 4-12. I really do. There's a lot of tough teams in there that I see the wins maybe. Here's the wins I have them having. I give Miami, okay, that's 1. I have Buffalo, it's 2.
Mm-hmm.
I have Jacksonville, 3.
Okay.
And one more one I have.
The Jets.
And the Jets is 4. That's all I have is 4 wins from them.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but like I said, I guess I'm generous.
I mean, they are improving. I think Ween's coming into it. I think Richardson's a great player. I don't see them having that many wins, though. I see 4-12 for the Browns.
All right, and moving on from that, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is my last place finisher this year in the AFC North. I think they're too old.
Palmo is healthy and he's back.
For how long? He can't stay healthy. He's proven that. Roethlisberger, he can never stay healthy through the season, and much to the dismay of his teammates, when he does get injured, he stays in the game because he thinks he's a man, but really he's hurting his team.
Yeah, they do.
They've got a pretty weak schedule. I don't see them going very far even with that, because when it comes down to it, they could very well start off hot. Well, they got they had
the Titans, the Bengals, the Bears, and the Vikings.
Yeah, so right there, they could very well open up 2-2. I think that they're going to open up 2-2 in the season. And as the season goes, they have an early bye week.
That's a win for everybody, it seems like.
They have an early bye week, which is going to hurt them with their advanced age on the team. I see this team going, dare I say, 7-9 or 8-8.
Okay.
I'm totally disagreeing here. I'm looking at their schedule. I'm looking at the pieces they have coming in, and I'm looking at all the different aspects. And with just the schedule alone, I'm saying this is going to be your division winner here. I'm looking at 11-5, and with a few upsets here and there, maybe even 12-4 with this team. The schedule is just very easy for them. And yes, they do get the Bengals early, but they play at home against the Titans. They play the Bengals, which that'll be a tough game. But that's Monday Night Football. Anything can happen on Monday Night Football.
The lights could go out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they play the Bears at home. So again, you get the Bears at home. Then they play a neutral game in England. So that's another toss-up game. And then they play against the Jets. So they could very well be, after the first 5 games of the season, 4-1.
They could easily be 2-2 or 2-3.
Headed into their matchup against Baltimore on October 20th. So I say 11-5, 12-4 for the Steelers.
I don't see that. This team's getting very old. Roster's not getting any younger. Defense isn't getting any younger. They still have that home field advantage at Heinz Field, which is good. I don't have them last in the division. This is my teams in the division. I have the Bengals 10-6. Mm-hmm. I have the Ravens 8-8. I have the Steelers just below 7-9.
That's what he had, man.
Here's the thing that you always have to be wary with the Steelers, though, because Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
If he sees some problems, he will not hesitate to make adjustments. The only thing he will hesitate on, and we've seen it over and over and over, the only thing that we will hesitate on is not taking out Ben Roethlisberger when he needs to be taken out. He is stuck on Big Ben, and that has hurt him in the past, as in a couple years ago in the game with San Francisco. Mm-hmm. That definitely hurt them, keeping Roethlisberger in that game, and it actually even injured Roethlisberger more. Mike Tomlin is a great coach, but he has to make smarter decisions in the wake of an aging Steelers team.
Right. All right, so you guys take the Bengals in this division, and I will take the Steelers. Okay. So moving on to the NFC side of the North. Mm-hmm. We go to the NFC North and the Chicago Bears.
The Bears,
new coach.
I'll be honest with you, they got a new coach. Their defense has looked better, but it has also looked good in this preseason. I know I don't stake a whole lot on preseason.
Right.
But at the same time, when you have 2 or 3 touchdowns in a preseason game, defensive touchdowns, that is looking pretty good. I'm not staking a whole lot on this Bears team. I think your winner in the North is going to be the Packers. I'll come around to that in a minute. Uh-huh. But I see the Bears second or third in this division. If I had to throw a record out there, I'd say probably in the neighborhood of 9-7.
They got a tough schedule.
They got a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah.
They open up against the Bengals, then they play the Vikings, the Steelers, the Lions, the Saints, the Giants, the Redskins, the Packers. They have a very tough schedule. Like they have one of the toughest schedules I've seen. I think the Bears with the new coach. I don't know how Cutler's going to do getting accustomed to this new offense. I think it will help him, but with the schedule and looking at where they were last year, I'm looking at middle of the road, probably 8-8. At best for the Bears.
I'm looking, and I have 6-10. I think this team is going the right direction with the new coach. They had an offensive. They had an offensive line key pieces to help Cutler, but the schedule is so tough for them. I mean, you have the Bengals, the Vikings, the Steelers at home, the Lions who are good, the Saints, the Giants. That's just a rough. And then the
Redskins before they get a bye.
And then the
first 7 games, they could be 3-4, 2-5, 1-6. I mean, man.
And see, I have to disagree. I don't think they went the right direction. One of the biggest controversies of last year was the Bears getting rid of Lovie Smith for going 10-6. That was ridiculous. Yeah. And I think they took a step back. I think Lovie Smith was beloved by not only the players but the fans as well. And I don't believe that is a step in the right direction, getting rid of a coach that was clearly getting the job done.
Yep. So with that, we will move on to the second team in the NFC North, the Detroit Lions.
This team struggled last year, and I think they're going to struggle again this year.
Madden curse?
Calvin Johnson is a phenomenal wide receiver, but at the same time, he is your only wide receiver at this point in time. Yes, they have other players. I realize
Reggie Bush now, which is a very good.
Reggie Bush is a huge upgrade. It's one of those things that you pay for Sam Bradford, or I'm sorry, Matt Stafford. You pay for Matt Stafford, and where's it really gotten you? Yes, he's given you the money. You've given him the money. He's given you great play 2 seasons ago. Last season, not very much.
Right.
I think this is your last place finisher in the division with the Lions. I'm looking at 7-9, maybe 6-10.
Yeah.
I agree with the doc here. I think 6-10, 7-9. I think they're going to struggle again. Just like the Bears, they do have a pretty tough schedule, and I don't think they have the key pieces in the team that can get past to get a good winning record.
Yeah. I like this Lions team. I like Stafford. I like Calvin Johnson. I love the Reggie Bush pickup. I think that front seven of Detroit is very, very good. But with all that being said, they play in a tough division with a team like the Vikings and the Packers, who are clearly better than they are. I'm going to have to go with 6-10 with the Lions, and I think that could cost his the coach's job. I think Jim Schwartz.
I think Jim Schwartz is out of a job.
Jim Schwartz, I think he's on the hot seat.
You're calling that one, huh? Is that your first big call of the night?
Yeah, I think he's in the hot seat. I think the year they had previously, a couple years ago, they were one of the worst teams in the history of football, 0-16. And then him coming in and helping that team, really improving, going to the playoffs. And then last year they completely fall apart and don't really, recap that magic. And I think they go 6-10, and they struggle. And again, I think Jim Schwartz is gone.
All right, so with that, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the NFC North and move right along on the football special. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Triple Threat Talk.
The 80s, upon playing Madden for the first time, Darian Foster and Marshawn Lynch Sr. start an epic rivalry that will shape football in the modern era. They realize if they raise sons to be elite NFL running backs, they can use them to school each other in Madden. A unique and highly unorthodox conditioning program.
Hey, don't scratch my car!
Becomes the crux of their training.
Run that bit over! That's that beast mode right there. Hey, push it out. No pain, no man.
Today, the Suns have become the offensive threats of their father's dreams, spinning and juking their way to Madden domination.
He might have learned that from my son. He ain't learned nothing from your son.
A season 25 years in the making. Madden NFL 25. Rated E for everyone.
EA Sports. It's in the can. Official game console of the NFL.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk, the football special. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with Big B, Brandon DeMiro, and the Dr. Gary Lockard. And moving on through with the NFC North Division. This time we take a look at the third team in the division, the Green Bay Packers.
Previously, we talked about the AFC North. I picked the Bengals, you picked the Steelers, you also picked the Bengals, and then we've actually gone over the Bears and the Lions. Now we're on the Packers.
The Packers.
That's a tough first game for anybody.
Yeah, San Francisco. They
At
opened
Candlestick.
at Candlestick Park. So
Last opening game at Candlestick.
they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose that game. The Packers are.
Then they got to play.
Then they go to
Well, they're at home though.
Then they play at the Bengals.
They could easily start off 1-3.
That's a really good. I like to go to that game. That's a really good game.
They could easily start this off at 1-3. Then they have Detroit coming in town. Then they take a trip to Baltimore. This is a tough schedule. I think they're going to start off on the wrong foot with a loss to San Francisco, but I don't see them.
Really tough schedule.
I don't see them really. They're going to win this division just because they have Aaron Rodgers. Randall Cobb is going to be absent for the first few games of the season due to an injury, but it looks like they've got a lot of great players still coming back. Michael Finley's going to be back. They said he really had focus working on his hands in the off season because that is no secret that he is absolutely horrible with the hands. It's one of those things where I see the Packers winning this division, probably 11-5 or 10-6.
I agree. I think 11-5 or 10-6. I don't see them getting 12 or 13 wins. Their schedule's just too tough. But they definitely do have the best team out of that division for sure. Yeah. Between the Bears and the Lions and the Vikings, they're definitely the cream of the crop when it comes to that division. So good stuff there. So
I definitely I agree with you. I don't know if could they get 12-4? They could do 12-4, but I'm actually going to go one win less. I go 11-5 with the Packers, and they win this division.
All right, good stuff. So moving on with the final team of the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings.
Pretty high on this team. They picked up Greg Jennings. It's a great pickup by anyone's standards. Christian Ponder still coming into his own as a quarterback. Had a little bit of a rough year last year, but the head of all the newspapers last year was the remarkable play of one Adrian Peterson. I think that this is your second place team, and they very well could be looking at a wild card berth depending on some of the other plays, some of the other teams that I have in the wild card, which we'll cover later. This is a possible playoff team. I'm picking second, and I'm saying 9-7 or 10-6 even for this team. They start off at Detroit, which I don't think they should have a problem with. They go to Chicago, which they will probably win there. Then they have Cleveland come to town. That's going to be a toss-up. And then they deal with Pittsburgh, and I honestly think they'll beat Pittsburgh. This team, I think, like I said, second place in the division. Maybe even a possible playoff berth.
I think they're going to be right around there with the Bears, and maybe even a little less. I just don't see it with this team.
They have a tough schedule. I'm looking at.
They have a pretty tough schedule.
I mean, the games they have. Okay.
I was just saying they have a very tough schedule. They open up, against the Lions, so that's a division rival.
Their first four is not that bad.
No, but
after the bye, it gets rough.
They play Carolina, they play the Giants, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Redskins, the Seahawks,
then the Packers again,
all right in a row. Yeah. So it's not going to be no slouch. And I say 7-9, 8-8.
I'm going to go 6-10. I think. I like Adrian Peterson. I mean, how can you not like Adrian Peterson? But I just don't think Christian. I don't think Christian Ponder is that good of a quarterback to really help this team because they can't continue to ride Adrian Peterson to the end. I don't think that's going to work. They need to have a balanced attack because if they keep doing that, people are going to realize, hey, they're just going to continue to run the ball, so we're just going to run defense heavy, and we're going to be able to stop Adrian Peterson. So I go 6-10. I think the addition of Greg Jennings is good, but I think their schedule from week 6 all the way down to week 14 is rough. Yes. So I go 6-10.
And I think overutilizing Adrian Peterson in this offensive scheme will be a good thing because Christian Ponder does have an arm. He has shown that, and I think that if they do stack the box, they're going to really open up for a world of hurt for that Ponder and Jennings connection, which will become prominent throughout this season.
And hopefully this time Jennings doesn't get brainwashed as a Viking.
So we all are in agreement here that the Packers are going to win this division. You think the Vikings are going to be a wild card?
Yeah, I think the potential.
So your first wild card is the Minnesota Vikings.
Potential wild card.
Potential.
Yes.
But right now, as of right now, only me and you have just division winners at this point. No wild cards.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on to the AFC South.
Speaking of wild cards,
and the first team on the AFC South, the Houston Texans.
I look for them to win this division. They have Matt Schaub. They have Arian Foster. Of course, you can't forget that. They just got a pretty stacked team. They've got J.J. Watt on defense, just a beast on defense. I'm looking for them to win, and I am saying 11-5, 12-4 with this team. They open up San Diego. That's a win. They open up Tennessee. Tennessee's next. That's a win. Baltimore's a win. Seahawks. That'll be a tough game. That one could go either way. Then they come to San Francisco, where I do believe they'll lose. Then they have St. Louis, which they'll win. Kansas City, which they'll win. They could very well in their first set of games go 7-0, 6-1, 7-0, just in their first 7 games. I'm picking them to win this division. And my first AFC wild card is actually in this division, which we'll cover in a little bit.
Their schedule is ridiculously tough. It's one of the toughest ones I've seen in a while.
This is rough.
They play the Broncos. They play the Colts twice. They play the Patriots. They play the Seahawks. They play the 49ers. They play the Ravens. This is a stacked schedule.
Yeah. And then again, there could be a team in this schedule. I'm not saying who it may be, but there could be a surprise team that's getting hot that they could have problems with.
I don't think they're going to win the division. This will be my first wild card selection. It'll be my AFC first wild card selection. I'm looking for 9-7, 10-6.
Yeah, I was leaning towards 9-7, but I think there's one game they could probably squeak out. Maybe they could be Indy. I think Indy's better than they are, but they could probably be Indy at home.
Yeah,
that's where my other win comes. So I have Houston at 10-6.
Yeah. So all right. So then, with that, moving on, we got
one of the
second team.
One of the hot teams in the division.
Yep, definitely.
In the AFC.
The Indianapolis Colts, led by Andrew Luck.
This is my first wild card pick. I think that they are going to come in second in the division. Andrew Luck was just phenomenally good. His rookie season took him to the playoffs. I see no trouble in them doing it again. They have T.J. Yeldon. They've got several other all-star players returning. And I really honestly think that the way this team is going in some of their offseason moves, they have a lot of potential to repeat a run in the playoffs and go more than just the first game. But I do see them being a very good contender, and not only contending, but picking up that first wild card in the AFC.
I think they're going to win this division here. I mean, they open up, they could very well be 3-1 in their first 4 games. They play Oakland at home, Miami at home. That's 2 easy wins, I think. Then they go on the road to San Francisco. I don't think they're going to beat the Niners in San Francisco. Then they play the Jaguars, which should very well be easy to win. So they would be 3-1 heading into their matchup against the Seahawks, which will be an outstanding game.
It looks like, and I'm ecstatic to say this, it looks like I'm going to this game. It looks like it's going to happen. One of Michael's friends, Jason, I've been in contact with him on Facebook. We're supposed to get tickets. Michael's supposed to join us as well. That's going to be a great game to watch. See my Seahawks play the Colts.
Yeah, so I think the Colts are going to go 11-5 and win this division.
I have them one win more. I'm 12-4. I think this team is great. I don't think enough people are talking about this pickup for the Colts as much as I am. But I think the pickup of Darius Hayward-Bay for the Colts is going to be a huge threat for defenses because, again, coming out of college, the guy was ridiculously fast. In Oakland, he didn't get really much to do because he had no one to throw to him, and now you have a guy like Andrew to throw to him, which is like a dream for a kid like this. So I think this is going to be a scary tandem in the NFL this year. I know usually this is a tandem to watch this year in the NFL. Is Luck to Hayward-Bay. They're going to connect a lot this season, and that's definitely a reason I have them going 12-4 and winning the division. So right now, one wild card I have chosen the Texans as my wild card, and the Colts win the division. But there's one more team in this division that could sneak up on some people. We don't know. There could be one team in the AFC that could shock the entire football world.
The Tennessee Titans.
No.
Oh, no.
Not yet.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are the next on our list, led by none other than the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, Mr. Blaine Gabbert.
Forget Joe Montana. Forget John Elway.
Forget Steve Young.
Forget Peyton
Forget
Manning.
Dan Marino. Forget Peyton.
Forget Kurt Warner. It's all about Blaine
Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert.
Of course we kid. We kid because we care.
I think that this is a team that will be
abysmal
in contention for last place in this division.
They're a part of the J.
It really is theirs to lose.
They're in the J. Devon Clowney sweepstakes.
Yeah, I don't see people are picking this team to be second in the division. I don't see it at all. Blaine Gabbert.
Wow, they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, they're scheduled. They open up with
play the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Colts.
That's our first Toilet Bowl game.
How do you like that? It's actually your third game of the season. Gus Bradley returns to Seattle to play his former team.
Wow.
The Broncos, the Chargers, the 49ers, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Texans, the Browns.
The NFL just does not like the Jacksonville.
I mean, the one thing that's good, they're adding the red zone to the jumbotron, so people have something to watch.
I'm saying 4-12.
I say 4-12.
I'm going over the schedule. Hang on a second.
They may not even hit 4.
They may not.
They may not even hit 4.
But I think 4-12, and they're definitely
that might be generous.
The last place team in this division. But not by much.
Not by much.
I don't think. Not by much.
I have them at 4-12. I think the fact that
the consensus 4-12.
I think the fact that Jones Drew is healthy is good. He'll get them some wins.
MJ.
I think Cecil Shorts is someone to keep an eye on too. I think he's a pretty good receiver. Justin Blackmon has not worked out for them. He's got some off the field trouble, so he's not working out. Will Blaine Gabbert work out? We'll see. He's doing obviously better in practice, so they seem to think he is the key to the franchise as far as quarterback's concerned. I think their defense is going to be a lot better. I really do, because I think Gus Bradley knows what he's doing. He did a phenomenal job in Seattle with that defense.
What?
He's the key, all right. The key to keeping them bad.
Yeah, right. But I honestly think their defense is going to be a lot better. People give him credit because Gus Bradley knows what he's doing. I think they're going to surprise some people defensively, but it's not going to translate to wins. I'm going 4-12.
All right, the final team in this division as we wrap up the AFC South before we head to break, the Tennessee Titans.
Let's see here. The Titans, bring up their schedule.
I'm getting there. Come on, talk about yourselves.
Big B's bringing up the schedule here, Doc. I don't think they're going to be as bad as the Jags, but I don't think they're going to be much better than the Jags.
I got them also at 4-12. Big B can get their schedule up here.
A little
you guys can see it, but we can't right now.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, it's one of those things. Is Chris Johnson going to decide to play this year or not?
Maybe he needs to run against the cheetah to get him motivated.
I think so. I think he needs to start running against that cheetah.
Good Lord, the schedule's rough.
Yeah, I'll be at that October 20th game. San Francisco comes to town at LP Field.
Look at that.
I don't know.
You know what's funny is I'll be in town that day.
Are you going to be in town that day?
I'll be in Nashville that weekend.
I don't know what to do about that game against the Chargers. I don't know.
It's one of those things for me. I just
I'll give it-
don't.
I'll give it to them.
I don't even see them getting 4 wins. I think they're going to be right up there with Jacksonville.
So 4-12.
I was going to go to
3-13.
Thursday Night Football with San Francisco at St. Louis.
Yes.
But it's a Thursday. It's Thursday Night Football, so I won't be able to do that. I will have to go to LP Field, which would be nice because I've never been to LP Field.
Word of the wise, the fans are horrible.
I've heard that about Titans fans.
Horrible.
I'm actually going to see if I can get a friend of mine to go who is a Titans fan. Shout out to Dan Schweikart right here. He deserves it for putting up with all the pain and suffering the Titans fans have to put up
Are
with.
you going to pay for his ticket?
No.
No?
No.
What the heck kind of pal are you? So with that, let's take a
I
break.
didn't pick my pick yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying break.
Well,
so
I'm saying, we'll finish up here. So what was your record for the Titans?
I'm 4-12.
4-12.
I have one more win than that. I have 5-11 for the Titans.
5-11.
This is another team I'm looking at. Mike Munchak could be on the hot seat. I don't think Jake Locker is working out for this team. Chris Johnson could he have another year. Could he have another good year? I don't know. I don't see it.
He's the ultimate X factor.
Yeah. So that's my pick for the Titans. 5-11. Next, when we come back from break, the NFC South, which could be one of my first wild cards of the football special. We'll be right back.
You already had one.
Well, my
We'll
first
be right
wild of the
back.
NFC.
Triple That Talk, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
The late 90s. A chance meeting at summer camp between young Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson sparks one of the fiercest Madden rivalries of our time. They vow to become the greatest mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, so they can someday beat each other with each other in Madden. Their training regimen quickly becomes the stuff of legends. All their years of hard work have led up to this moment. Man versus man. Video game man versus video game man.
Is that how you do it?
A season 25 years in the making. Madden NFL 25, rated E for everyone.
EA Sports, it's in the game. Official game console of the NFL.
We are back. This is Triple Threat Talk. We were laughing at how gravy the Atlanta Falcons schedule is.
They have 11 guaranteed. I think they have like 11 guaranteed wins.
I think this team can easily go 12-4 and 13-3.
They open up at the Saints.
Wow.
Which it's questionable because of this return of Sean Payton. But then you get the Rams at home. You get the Dolphins. You get the Patriots. They're probably their first toughest game of the year. Then you get the Jets at home. You get the Buccaneers at home. You go to the Cardinals. Then you play
Carolina.
At Carolina. Okay. Cam Newton, yeah, I'm not really scared. You play the Seahawks in Atlanta, which we all know how that turned out last time. You play the Buccaneers, the Saints again at home, the Bills in Buffalo, actually in Canada for that game.
Hey?
Yeah.
Hey.
Then they play the Packers at Lambeau, so that'd be a tough one. They play the Redskins at home, so they should win that one. They play on the road against Candlestick, which that'll be a tough one. And then Carolina at home. I see 12-4 easily.
I think
easily.
I think 12-4, 13-3.
I'm going one
This
less.
team wins the division.
I'm going one less than you. I'm going 11-5 for the Atlanta Falcons. I think New Orleans is a tough team at home regardless, and I think they got every piece back they need. I think
Here's the roster for this team. You have Matty Ice.
got a big contract.
Julio Jones.
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. Roddy White.
Me and Julio went by the schoolyard.
Sean Weatherspoon. This team is stacked. They are looking for some revenge from last year. I do not want to be the 49ers this year playing this team even at
That'll be a
Candlestick.
good game too.
I do think the 49ers will pull that one out because they did win it last year, but I would not want to be playing it because that's going to be a rough, physical game.
So I like the Falcons to 11-5, but I still have them winning.
I like the Falcons at 12-4 and running away
Yeah.
with the division. Like, not even close.
So
The next team on the list.
So far as a recap, AFC North, we had the Bengals winning the division. You had the Steelers. You also had the Bengals. NFC North, I had the Packers. You had the Packers. You had the Packers also. But you had the Vikings, a possible wild card. AFC South, I picked the Colts. You picked the Colts. You picked the Texans. But you also picked the Colts as a wild card.
And we both picked the Texans as a wild card.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, you did. You both did. And then the AFC.
You did too, didn't you?
I said
I picked the Texans as winning.
I said 9-7.
That's why we shouldn't be recapping.
Well, trying to keep people.
Third, this one I agree with the computer. The Jacksonville Jaguars, third in the NFC South.
Panthers.
The Panthers.
Carolina Panthers.
That's just a preseason thing.
Yeah, that's a preseason record.
I definitely think that this team will be third, though. I think Tampa Bay is going to finish last this year. I do not see much that impresses me with this team. I just don't, except for Cam Newton. Steve Smith, and then
Luke Ketchley.
I told you that the two people that impress me on this team are Cam Newton and Steve Smith. That's all I see in this team. I do think that this team will be third. I'm looking maybe 6-10.
I'm going to go better than that. I'm going to say about middle of the road, 8-8. But they will not get a wild card.
I believe in this team. I think Cam Newton's coming into his own. I think this defense is going to be great.
Let me ask you a question. Just because it's good, debate is good for the show, we know this. What makes you think after last year that Cam Newton is coming into his own? Because he had one of the worst seasons he's ever had in his entire football career.
Right, but the thing that I'm going back on with the Carolina Panthers, they won their last 4 games last year. They were on a hot streak, a little mini hot streak last year. They have a great defense. Luke Kitchley, defensive rookie of the year.
Who did they play?
Yeah,
I don't remember. They beat Atlanta once.
Okay, Atlanta was probably resting players.
No, it was the middle of the season. That was the game. That was the game in Carolina.
Well, the last.
I think he's right.
That was the game in
I'm talking
Carolina.
about the last 4 games of the year, though. Were they playing?
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, though, and that is true.
I think 7-9, 8-8 with this team.
I like this team.
I do like Cam. Don't get me wrong. Cam Newton's very talented. He didn't show me anything last year, though. If I judge his performance from last year, which is what I am doing, I did not see much to impress me last year, regardless if they beat Atlanta or not. You're talking about, to the contrast, you're talking about a St. Louis team that beat San Francisco one game and tied them another.
Yeah, right.
So that doesn't really impress me a whole lot. Yeah, they got lucky. Okay. So what I have to say here is, based on Cam Newton's performance, the secret is out with Steve Smith. They're going to be double teaming him because he is very dangerous. Make no mistake about it. Steve Smith is a very dangerous guy. This team finishes third.
The New Orleans Saints is your third team out of this division. I thought you did.
So what's your pick for the Panthers?
I said 6-10. I think
7-9, 8-8.
I like this team. I think this is my one of my wild cards in the NFC. I think this team is a surprise. I really do. I think Cam Newton's going to play really well this year.
If looks could kill
I think Steve Smith is going to play. I love this. I love this defense.
Wait till you hear his other wild card in the AFC.
I already know what it is.
Okay.
And I was like, are you kidding?
I love this defense. I say they're another wild card in this division. I go 10-6 Carolina.
All right.
Wowzer.
Wow.
So moving on to the New Orleans
Sometimes you
Saints.
gotta make a little leap, fella.
Please.
Can
we move on?
The Saints here. This is my second NFC, or this is one of my NFC wild cards. I do believe the return of the Sean.
Yes.
I said a possible one with the Vikings. I have a more likely one coming up.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's one of those things that.
I mean, one is pretty much guaranteed for us.
Yeah. I think it all depends. This is the one that will make the other one depend on if it happens or not. Sean Payton is a year absent from this team, and the defensive shakeup, is that going to make a difference? I am picking, as of right now, for them to be second in this division and have a wild card. I am picking that.
Okay.
Whether or not Sean Payton's able to finally get this team together after a year hiatus, get the defense clicking again, depends on whether or not Minnesota will be that second wild card team or not. That is why I'm saying it all rests on New Orleans. Yep. I'm picking New Orleans, and I'm picking them 10-6, 11-5.
I'm going to go 9-7 and just barely missing a wild card.
Okay.
I'm going to go one. I'm going to go one less. I'm going to go 8-8.
I just think there's too much power on this team.
There is a lot.
Breeze, Marquise Colston.
The thing about the Saints,
Lance Moore.
The thing about the Saints I've always seen, they have such an explosive offense. Their defense has never been that great.
No, it hasn't
ever.
been.
Except for when Bounty Gate was going on.
Even before that, their defense has never been the greatest asset of their team. It's always been,
Drew Brees.
It's always been like high passing offense with Drew Brees. And
That's all you need, though.
they need a defense too. That's why I'm 8-8. I don't think their offense can carry them into a wild card spot. I really don't. There's a lot of good teams in there that can really outshoot them. New England can outshoot them. I think Dallas can outshoot them with Roma. I think he's playing. I think San Francisco can outshoot them.
To
Seattle can outshoot them.
Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer won with defense. He was, anybody was out shooting him. So
he won with defense though.
Yeah,
they don't have it. They don't have it.
It's kind of like a reciprocal.
They don't have it.
Going on.
They don't have a defense.
So
I say 8-8.
All right. So you say a possible first wild card.
My wild card is a toss-up between them and the Vikings. My other one is locked, though.
The final team in this division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This team just does not impress me. People are impressed by this team. First in the AFC in the preseason. Josh Freeman, to me, is the only key piece on this team. There are a couple other small glimmering stars, not too many.
Doug Martin
is on there, and I think he is a threat. He is obviously one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. But what?
No, go ahead. Finish your point.
To me, though, this is going to take a lot more than a solid running game.
Yeah.
The secret, they're going to stack the box. And they do not have any receivers that scare me.
Yeah. Vincent Jackson's very good.
I'm going to, like I said, they do not have any wide receivers.
I like Vincent Jackson. I do.
Josh Freeman is going to be gunning it. And that's a shame, too, because I'm going to miss Doug Martin going for all those yards because that was ecstatic to watch.
It was incredible.
And if he can do it again, that will be impressed because Tampa Bay, you're going to be facing defenses all year.
Yeah.
8 and 9 in the box.
I love Doug Martin. I think he's great.
I do too. I think he's fantastic.
The thing I was laughing about, and when we get there, I don't know what I'm going to do. Every time I see the Jets, I have them losing, so I don't know what the record's going to be. I don't know. Every time I see the Jets, I go, loss. As far as Tampa Bay goes, a couple years ago, they went 10-6. Freeman had a pretty okay year that year. They made the playoffs that year. Last year, I think they were really close to making the playoffs. They didn't really get there as much because New Orleans slipped, so they had a chance to do some damage. This team's got a rough schedule. I mean, they played New Orleans. They played New England back-to-back. And they play Arizona's going to be a little bit better. Philadelphia's going to be a high-powered offense. They play Atlanta again. Carolina, Seattle. That's a tough. I have Tampa Bay going 6-10. It's a tough schedule for them. Shiano's getting to the point he might be in the hot seat in a couple of years, but if this team continues to struggle, I have them going 6-10. The team doesn't have enough weapons, I think, offensively and defensively, to really sink their teeth into a playoff spot.
I'll give them one better. I'll give them 7-9 here. And I think with that probably pretty much sums up the Buccaneers. So with that, we all are.
Oh no!
We all have consensus.
But luckily, I don't think we're going to get to them in this segment, so that'll be interesting.
We're all in consensus that the Falcons will win that division. So now the AFC East, and the first team to cover the Buffalo Bills.
Michael Rickards
team.
And you know what? It's Tool time! The first game of the year.
At New England!
Against New England at home. They get Jeff Tool. That's right. You heard me on the show last week, the Triple Threat Talk weekly show. I said that Tool time would be copyrighted, and if anybody says it, which you're already $100 in high.
I think with this team, what we've got going on is New England and everybody else in this division. New England is going to be the team to beat. This team, it doesn't really matter what place the Bills come in. They're not going to be in contention for a wild card. They're not going to win the division. I don't care if they come in second, third, or fourth. I've got the middle of the road, 8-8, 7-9.
Wow, that's high. I have them going 5-11. I think E.J. Manuel is a good step for this team. I think C.J. Spiller is good. Stevie Johnson's great. That defense hasn't really panned out for them yet. And they have a really tough schedule. They play in a tough division.
But see, what you're not taking, when you say E.J. Manuel's playing, we don't know how long.
I'm saying
that's what it's.
I'm saying future-wise, I think.
Oh, absolutely. In the future, for sure. C.J. Spiller's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Stevie Johnson is the same.
Yeah, I think this team could do some damage in the future. But right now, I say 5-11. They got a tough schedule with playing New England twice. I think Cincinnati, New Orleans, Kansas City, Atlanta. It's just a tough schedule. I like they're 5-11.
I'll give them one better, just because I like Tool time. I like the name of it, and I'll say 6-10. So moving on from that, the second team in the AFC East will be none other than the Miami Dolphins.
This team, if any, I think is going to be second place in this team in this division. I think they've got a. They're going in the right direction. They're not there yet.
Ryan Tannehill's really good.
Ryan Tannehill's
got Mike Wallace to throw to.
Mike Wallace,
They did lose Reggie
former
Bush.
Steeler. I I think that Tannehill and I think that Mike Wallace is going to work better with someone more his age than with Ben Roethlisberger. I think that they're going to create a dynamic tandem. And I can't believe I'm speaking high of a player who once played in Pittsburgh, but the kid is talented. Although with Roethlisberger, he rarely got a chance to shine because he had other options. One of those things, though, with Mike Wallace, while I'm not a fan of his off-the-field antics, on the field, he can get it done. I'm looking for this team to be second in the division. A very low second, though. I'm looking at 8-8 and 9-7.
Yeah, I have them going 7-9, a little bit better. They don't have enough. They don't have enough pieces to just make that one last jump.
They don't have enough pizzazz.
Yeah, they don't have it yet. I like Tannehill. I think he's going to be good in the future, but
absolutely.
Mike Wallace isn't enough for them to really get there. I think Phil was doing a good job with the team, but I have him just missing a little bit by going 7-9.
I agree with Big B. I think they'll miss out just a smidgen, and they'll go 7-9. And with that, we will take a break. When we come back, we will continue with the AFC East and then move on to the NFC East right after this. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk Football Special 2013. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Hey.
My little boy loves playing football.
It's a great game.
But what is the NFL doing to make the game safer?
We're doing a lot. Carl?
Well, Tom, we're developing new rules to better protect our players.
And over the next decade with the NFL Players Union, they're dedicating more than $100 million for medical research.
Wow.
As well as supporting the development of better and safer equipment.
And I feel a lot better about him playing.
Love to meet the little guy.
Ray, meet Tom.
Cute kid.
And welcome back here on the 2013 football special brought to you by our good friends here at Triple Threat Talk. Big B, Brandon DeMiro, Gary the Dr. Lockard, myself, Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers. We were halfway through the AFC East, so let's keep it rolling with the Beast of the East, the most powerful team in the division, with or without all the pieces they've lost. The New England Patriots.
A lot of off-the-field stuff with Aaron Hernandez, Gronkowski being hurt.
Wes Welker went to the Broncos.
A lot of key pieces on offense. I know he's going to go first, but I'll get to why I think this team is going to be a little bit better than people think. So.
I don't think there's much stretch at all. I mean, Tom Brady can make anybody a great player. He's going to make a few more people some good players. When they do get Gronk back, he'll be good. There's a lot of speculation they might be using Tebow as a tight end, which would be an instant power burst, whether you like him at quarterback or not. He is built for a tight end, though. I see them easily winning this division. I don't see them going sky high in the wins, though. I see this team maybe 10-6, 11-5 at the most.
I agree with you exactly. 11-5. This team is struggling because of the pieces lost on offense, but I think the pickup, another breaking play to watch out for is Danny Amendola. He was a great target in St. Louis for Sam Bradford, one of the best he had, and then he went to New England, so Sam Bradford's going to miss that target. But he has Tavon Austin, so I think he's going to be okay. But Danny Amendola coming out of the slot for the Patriots is going to be really good for them. I think Brady to Amendola is another tandem you're going to hear a couple times this year. I have New England the same record as the Doc. I go 11-5 and winning the division easily because no other team in this division is even close to the caliber of the Patriots.
I totally concur. I think 11-5 is right on the mark for sure.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Do we have to? No.
Probably the worst team in the AFC.
Probably the worst team in the NFL.
I think they're another team in contention for Jadavion Clowney.
They're definitely in the Jadavion Clowney sweepstakes, that's for sure.
I look for this to be Rex Ryan's
swan song.
It could be.
The New York Football Jets.
Yep. Good luck, New York Jets fans. You are going to have a new coach next year if this season
You're
goes
to be in the
plan.
basement for sure.
Geno, we don't know who's starting. Sanchez, Geno Smith. It doesn't matter. Graham Howell.
It could be Graham Harrell.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Graham Harrell.
This team is going 3-13.
Their schedule just... there is, in recent memory, just the way they play, there has been no team more pathetic than the Jets. It really isn't.
Even the 0-16 Lions were better than
they were competitive.
Yeah,
they were competitive. People don't remember that, but they were in every game. They didn't get blown out. They weren't losing.
They got blown out twice.
They were losing 35-0. They were in competitive games.
Right.
But the Jets just are so. From Mark Sanchez last year with the butt fumble and all his interceptions and Rex Ryan's inability to decide to put people in and put in Greg McElroy didn't really help them out. They won a game against the Cardinals 7-6 when the Cardinals were arguably the worst team in football at that time. I go one more than him. I say 4-12. The Jets are just pathetic. I mean, what's it going to take to turn this team around? I have no idea. But they have no
new coach.
They have no. This is one team that has no pieces on either side of the ball. They have no pieces on defense. We forgot to mention about Tampa Bay. Revis went to Tampa Bay. They had no receivers on offense, really. I don't think St. Antonio Holmes is going to be healthy. Who the heck is going to play? Quarterback Sanchez, Geno Smith, could be Graham Harrell for whatever.
They're going to get their super fan back.
It could be Joe Namath could come back and suit up. Who knows?
Coming back?
Probably.
Joe Namath could suit up. Who the heck knows with this team? But I say 4-12. This team is just abysmal. It makes New York football look horrible because they play in the same stadium as the Giants, and this team is just a doormat for the Giants. I say 4-12.
I totally agree. 4-12 for sure. So with that, we move on to the NFC East, where
which is not much better than the AFC.
Actually, I think
this division is very competitive.
It's going to be very jumbled. It is going to be.
It's jumbled, but I don't know who we got first coming up.
Well, first team we got on the docket is the Dallas Cowboys.
Tony Romo and his crew. DeMarco Murray is always a threat on the ground. Tony Romo doesn't know whether he's coming or going most of the time. I'm not very big on that guy. I think this team is going to be third in the division, and I'm looking at them somewhere in the 6-10, 7-9 mark.
Taking a look at their schedule here, they open up against the Giants at home.
They have a pretty good schedule, actually.
Then they play the Chiefs, the Rams, the Chargers. They play. They get the Broncos at home, the Redskins at home. Then they play. Their schedule's not too bad. They got several games in here that are.
They just don't have the talent for me.
Kind of up in the air. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, this division's
it's going to be between them and I think maybe the Giants.
Maybe the Redskins.
The Redskins.
But I'm not sure. So I'm going to say 9-7 for the Cowboys, and I'm going to say that they will be my first NFC wild card pick.
Really?
9-7.
This division is
no love for the NFC from PostMaster.
This division is hard hitting. It's all the teams are very evenly matched.
I think the divisions are pretty.
The Eagles are rebuilding with Chip Kelly's new coach. Michael Vick is the quarterback now. So Nick Foles is the backup again. Chip Kelly wants to go with Michael Vick.
We're talking about the Cowboys, right?
I'm just saying the division. And the Redskins obviously with RG3 won the division last year, and the Giants, they're kind of in the mix a little bit. But I think this is the Cowboys' year. Honestly, think that. I think Dez Bryant's gonna have a great year.
There's no doubt about that.
I think another bold prediction I'm making because of who they have, Rod Marinelli Rod Marinelli and who's the guy with defense? Rod Marinelli and who else did they add? Lane Kiffin. Monte Kiffin is on the defense, and I think this team is going to be a top 5 defense this year in the NFL. I think they have a great piece on the defense. DeMarcus Ware is great. They got a great secondary. I think Tony Romo's going to have a great year throwing to Dez Bryant, Miles Austin, DeMarco Ware in the backfield. I have this team winning the division at 10-6. I made the prediction last year for the Redskins to win, and I was on the money. I think I'm going to be on the money this year again. I like the Cowboys to win the division at 10-6.
All right.
Did you make your prediction? Mm-hmm. What did you say about
third place?
What was your record?
7-9.
Okay.
It's 7-9. So with that, we move to the second team in the NFC East. As we get the things loaded up here, sometimes our scheduling
especially when we got Big B at the helm.
The second team is the New York Football Giants, led by Eli.
Football on your phone.
Eli's coming, but it's not really going to make a difference.
Eli's coming heart to heart.
I see this team second in the division, though. Probably 9-7, 10-6. I like Eli. Eli's always good for a couple wins. Victor Cruz is pretty good. What are they opening up with?
Eli versus brother.
Eli versus Peyton, second game of the year.
Brother Bowl.
The Brother Bowl. I think this is the third one.
Yeah. What did you know the record? Was it
2-0.
2-0 Peyton?
Peyton always wins.
Just like when they were kids.
So, this team, to me, second place in the division.
you never know what to get with the Giants. The years they won the Super Bowl, were they the best team in football? Absolutely not. But they got hot at the right time, and they went and they won Super Bowl. Could it happen again? Absolutely. The Giants could be the first team ever in the history of football to get to Super Bowl in their home stadium. That could possibly happen.
Wow.
Do I see it? No, absolutely not. The Giants have a rough schedule.
I don't.
Cowboys.
1, 2. They played 3 straight at home. Who does that?
Yeah, Cowboys, Broncos, Panthers, Chiefs. I have this team going right in the middle. I have them 8-8.
They didn't play San Francisco this year.
No, I have the Giants going 8-8. 8-8.
I do play 3 at home.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 10-6, and they win the division.
Okay, Giants fan, huh? So Giants are my third place team.
I'm not a Giants fan. I just say,
I'm just joking.
you know,
I'm being like,
I'm thinking it's
what's
pretty.
his name? Mike Francesa. If you don't know, every year Mike Francesa's radio show in New York, he does like a Super Bowl contest, and he always says, "What kind of fan are you?" And then, so that's gonna be interesting this year because it takes place in New York. So that's
Yeah, it'll definitely be. And according to the Farmer's Almanac, it's going to be a wicked storm.
Yeah,
for
really,
sure. So the third team in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles.
To me, this team is the 4th place in the division.
I agree.
They're just in shambles right now. They don't know if they're coming or going. Bring up their schedule right here. I'm going to take a shot at this. At Washington, there's a loss. San Diego comes to town. There's a loss. Kansas City comes to town. There's a loss.
San Diego's horrible.
They're still going to beat Philadelphia.
No.
Denver is going to beat them. Giants are going to beat them. Tampa Bay is going to beat them. Dallas is going to beat them. Maybe the Giants are going to beat them again. Oakland, they might beat Oakland.
They played 3 games at home in a row.
I'm saying 4-12. 4-12 for this team last in the division.
I'm gonna go a little bit better. I'm gonna say they are the last place team, but I'm gonna give them 6-10.
I'm right there.
I think it's a very competitive division. Like I said, you got 10-6 for the Giants with me, 9-7 for the Cowboys, and I go 6-10 for the Eagles.
I'm right there with the Eagles, 6-10. I think this team is a work in progress. I think Chip Kelly's his first year. He's gonna see what this team has. Vic starting as quarterback. See if Deshaun Jackson can really replicate, and hopefully. We're in this together, meaning the doctor, about this. Can they use LaShawn McCoy correctly?
Yeah.
Because last year, I didn't think he was even playing at that point.
You gotta give the guy more than 15 carries a game. You've got to give LaShawn McCoy. He has to touch the ball 20 times a game.
Here's the thing with me: if they use LaShawn McCoy correctly, this team could get maybe 7-8 wins.
And here's the thing: Chip Kelly does utilize running team. If they learn how to use LaShawn McCoy, I'm way off. If they learn to use LaShawn McCoy, this team could probably win the division. If they use LaShawn McCoy, which history shows that they will not. I had a staggering statistic last year, and in the times that they used LaShawn McCoy 20 or more times a game, they were 4-0.
Right.
4-0 using LaShawn McCoy.
All right, so with that, we move to the final team in the NFC East, the Washington Redskins. And we take a look at their schedule here. They open up at home.
Oh, that's the opener.
Against the Eagles. On Monday Night Football, the return of Robert Griffin III.
Did that very correctly.
Then they play the Packers at Lambeau. Looking at the rest of their schedule, their schedule is actually not too terrible. I mean, they do have some tough games. They play at Lambeau.
That's a great game.
They play at Lambeau. They play at Denver.
Is that Thanksgiving?
Wow.
Is that Thanksgiving?
That might be
24th.
4th this year.
They play at Denver, at Green Bay, which those will be 2 tough games.
San Francisco. Read option versus read option.
They play San Francisco at home. They play at Atlanta, which is not going to be no picnic.
No.
I think this team they're going to struggle because Robert Griffin has not had any actual, he's practiced, but he's not really had any playing time. And I know preseason doesn't matter. I'm with you on that. But real game practice and practicing on the practice field, the preseason games gives you that real game atmosphere because there's fans, you're at the stadium, you have pregame warm-ups, you go through everything, you just don't play the whole game.
Yeah.
And I think that for that they're going to struggle, and I go 8-8.
I think they win the division. I think they do get off to a little bit of a rough start, especially as RG3 figures out how he needs to move with the brace on. I'm saying this team does win the division, though. I'm going to put them at 10-6, maybe 11-5.
Like I said, I have the Cowboys going 10-6, winning the division. I have the Giants at 38-8, the Eagles in last 6-10. The Redskins last year, that was my team to watch. I thought Robert Griffin III coming out of college was really hot, and I thought he was going to play really well coming out of college, and he played really great. Obviously, unfortunately, his injury prevented them from getting any further than they did. What I'm looking at right here is weeks 9 to the end of the season. That's when that field starts to get a little bit rough. The turf starts coming up. Unless Daniel Sharp decides to pull out this paycheck and fix the field, this is going to be really rough for them.
They have 3 straight games at home, too.
Weeks 9 through 7. Weeks 9 through 17 is rough for them. I have them going 9-7 and not making the playoffs.
They need to seriously fix that field. It is an embarrassment. If I'm the NFL, I even make them fix that field.
So it's pretty coherent that the NFC East is going to beat up on each other like they usually always do. That's for sure. So with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll cover our 2 favorite divisions, at least from a personal standpoint, and we'll get more into it right after this Triple Threat Talk Football Special 2013. Don't go anywhere.
Hey Cam, thanks a lot for coming to my school today.
No problem, Nate.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
And I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
And play in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And be drafted #1.
Maybe.
Become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you. And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
I'm just loosening my arm.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk Football Special 2013.
Football.
We're moving right along here. The AFC West, and kicking things off with the best in the AFC West.
The best in the West.
Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos.
Peyton Manning, any good? I've never heard of him.
They win this division hands down. I don't even need to explain why, but I will. One of the best tandems that I'm looking forward to watching in all of football this year is definitely Peyton Manning and Wes Welker.
I'm looking my birthday.
I'm looking forward
against Oakland.
Are you all done yet?
Yes.
Okay.
We're bantering.
I'm looking forward to this to at week 7 when Von Miller comes back to play. I definitely have them going 12-4, 13-3, and winning this division hands down.
Yes.
You have to, and I think you should too.
Really?
What?
I think we should all go.
Yeah.
Where?
Denver at Indy.
Denver at Indy.
October 20th.
It's a Sunday night football game.
I have to check. Because I have to see when the time to see what's going to go. All right, so let's see.
It's definitely what we got to go see.
Yeah, let's see. Bad.
I mean, no bones about it. Taking away the fact that they are my favorite.
Passes.
Huh?
Try to get cross passes.
Yeah, we could try. I agree with the doc here. I mean, this is a runaway. This is a 1-team division for sure. I mean, there's no bones about it. 12-4.
Big E's going to differ, but
12-4, 13-3 if they have a really good hot streak. But I think this offense can carry them even without Von Miller for the first 6 games. I'm not really I'm concerned a little bit, but not as much as you would be if you didn't have 18 behind the center. So
you got Peyton. And Wes Walker's gonna be great for him.
Yeah. So what do you think?
13-3. I think this. I think they're the #1 seed in the AFC. I don't think anybody is better than they are in the AFC currently. I think New England, they're still right there, but I think Denver is just much better than they are. I think Denver is a clear favorite to not just get to Super Bowl, but possibly win it, because I mean they look great. Denver.
Watch it, fella.
I love Denver. I love Denver a lot. I think Denver is a great team, and I think they go 13-3, and this division is easily theirs.
The second team in this division, and you might get surprised about somebody's.
You might get sick.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
So they got Alex Smith.
Yep.
They've got Dwayne Bowe.
Yep.
Nah.
AJ Jenkins.
Well, even then, I was never impressed with him in San Francisco.
They have Andy Reid.
They have Andy Reid. They got a great
Jacksonville.
They've got a great coach and 2 great players.
Win-loss.
To me, this team finishes. Second in the division. This team does finish second in the division. Second in the division, but not by much in way of being good overall. I'm picking them second, 7-9, maybe 6-10.
Woo! So you're saying 3 losing records?
Yes.
Other than
in the
Denver?
AFC West.
Wow, I agree. I think although actually I'm going to say 500 for this.
You're going to say 500.
I'm going to give them 500.
So you're going to go a winning record, a draw record, and 2 losing records.
I'm going to say 8-8 for the Chiefs.
Alex Smith to me is worth about 5 or 6 games on his own. Whether or not those are games that are also going to be thanks to Dwayne Bowe or not, I don't know, but we'll see.
Big B.
They are my second place team.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
There's no better team in this division than the Broncos. But last year, we were all in agreement against everybody else in the media that says Chiefs are going to win this.
And we were right.
Chiefs are going to win this division, or they're going to come close. They're going to be a playoff team. All this great stuff.
Romeo Cornell's going to be coach of the year.
And they fell flat on their face.
What? In the grand scheme of things, and all of media relations covering the NFL, I think one of the biggest flop stories ever had to be Romeo Cornell was going to be coach of the year.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was
pathetic.
I was like, I remember exactly what I said in the football special last year with Terry. I said the Chiefs 11-5 with what?
And we're wet behind the ears. We're green. We're young. We didn't know anything. We don't know
the one thing I'll say about this, and it's unfortunate, what happened last year with the death of the football player that was there. Mm-hmm. They rallied the team. They played the best time I've ever seen them play last year.
They came from nowhere and beat Green Bay.
Yeah,
absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. As far as what was your record for the Chiefs?
8-8.
What did you say?
I said maybe 6-10. Maybe
me. Okay. Last year I wasn't buying the Chiefs at all. I wasn't buying anything they were selling. This year I'm buying. I think Alex Smith is a good quarterback. I think he was screwed out of what happened to him in San Francisco. He should have kept playing. Will they want to go with him? No one knows. Kaepernick got the job, and he has the job now. I think
they didn't win the Super Bowl with him either.
That's true. They didn't get there with Alex Smith.
No, but you don't know. They might have.
Right, you never know.
Quarterback.
I think Jamal Charles is a great running back when he's healthy. I think that offensive line's going to be a little bit better with the pick they got in the draft. I think the defense is going to be solid. I think Andy Reid's a great coach. Dwayne Bowe, again, is the only receiver, but I think Alex Smith is a good enough quarterback. He can make some people better players by throwing the football. I have them as a wild card team. I have them in 10-6.
Wow. 10-6 and a wild card.
I do.
You heard it here first, folks.
I do.
Big B crucifying his reputation.
I'm taking some leaps this year. I have the Panthers in the wild card.
You've taken leaps every year.
Not last year.
Not like this, though. Not like this.
You're really going overboard with it.
I believe it.
I do agree. The only thing that worries me is Jamal Charles going to stay healthy?
That's the one thing.
That is the.
But I like Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid's a great coach.
And now, in a world where the entire team stays healthy, which they won't, but in a world where the entire team stays healthy, with Dwayne Bowe, being a little bit older, with Alex Smith having a fierce concussion from last year, with Jamal Charles being injury plagued, with the first-year coach of Andy Reid, could I see in the very near future the Chiefs being a wild card team? Absolutely. Probably not too far away, actually. This year, though, with all the new pieces coming together, I don't see it.
I think this team is a surprise. I really do.
The Oakland Raiders.
This team will not surprise. They don't even know their quarterback is yet.
Out of the Oakland Raiders, one of those things where I think they're going to be third in the division. I'm not impressed with them. I think them and San Diego might end up with the same record. I'm putting Oakland at 4-12, maybe even 3-13. I just don't even know what to say. Terrell Pryor.
I feel so bad.
Terrell Pryor is going to probably be their quarterback, more than likely. Other than that, other than Terrell Pryor, and he's pretty good.
They still have Darren McFadden?
I think they do.
Okay.
Oakland, I want to thank you in advance for my birthday present, for letting the Broncos win on my birthday. I appreciate that.
You're not letting them. Payne is going to beat them.
They're going to show up.
They'll get off the bus and that'll pretty much where we're at.
I like 3-13, 4-12 here. I agree with the doc. 4-12 is definitely probably the best they're going to get.
I'm right there. Sure. I'm right there. 4-12. It's a shame because they have a great fan base. The Oakland Raiders fan base is one of the best in football. But I like a team from Oakland, just not the Raiders. It's not them. I don't think they're a good team at all. They need to really rebuild. They need to really do some things. I don't know what it is. Their quarterback situation is abysmal. McFadden hasn't worked out. They lost their best receiver to Hayward Bay. The defense is it's a mess in Oakland.
And the final team in the AFC West, the San Diego Chargers.
Where? Oh, I was looking for Manti Taylor's girlfriend.
Oh boy, the Chargers. We all know that my several years of playing fantasy football, I rode Phillip Rivers till he died, and now I am jumping off that train for sure. He has lost everybody and anybody. I cannot blame him that he has nobody to throw to. It's not his fault that all the receivers have left town and he basically has nobody to throw to.
Antonio Gates still there, right?
Well, yeah, but he doesn't have Vincent Jackson. He doesn't have Darren Sproles.
He doesn't have anybody.
He doesn't have anybody.
He's gonna be throwing to Manti Te'o's
And now
girlfriend.
She might catch a couple touchdowns.
I think Ron Rivera is going to regret taking that position.
Ron Rivera's on the Panthers.
Not Ron Rivera. Yeah, the head coach of the. It is Ron Rivera.
No, Ron Rivera's the Panthers coach. I swear.
Who's the Chargers coach?
I don't know. North turned to left.
Yeah, and it was the same guy that was last year.
I think the moral of the story is it doesn't matter who their head coach is going to be.
This is embarrassing.
3-13, 4-12, tied for Oakland with last place in the division.
I have them third in the division at 5-11.
I have them leading the Davian.
No, that's the Jets. Are you kidding me? The Jets and the Raiders are right there. So are the Jaguars. I have them 5-11. This
Mike McCoy. I should have known that.
Come on, fella.
Mike McCoy, former Broncos offensive coordinator. What's wrong with me? That's like his first year on the job.
It was at 11 o'clock at night. That's what's wrong with you.
It's not going to be a pretty one.
This is another team that it just baffles on because they had so much talent at one point with Zayne Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, Vincent Jackson. They had such a great team offensively and defensively, and they couldn't do anything with it. Now they have all those players are gone. And the thing that gets on my nerves all the time, people blow up Phillip Rivers like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He turns over the ball more than anybody in the NFL. So I don't know why people praise him as being this great passer. I don't understand it.
Because he was.
He was outstanding.
There's no bones about it.
It's not his fault he lost his weapon.
4,000 yard seasons everywhere.
Well, now
recently
he's kind of slipped. Recently he hasn't had the players and the key personnel to help him. I say 5-11. Although this team I'm interested in watching only because I want to see A, how Manti Te'o plays, and B, the response he gets when he steps on the field.
It's going to be in
if he gets any of that all.
So I say 4-12.
It'll be in his head.
It'll be in left field, right?
So with that, the final division of the night, and to wrap up picking the divisions. And the first team we're going to talk about is the the Arizona Cardinals.
AKA last place in the division.
There was no team more abysmal in pro football than the Cardinals after they won their first 4 games and lost their last 12.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald is one of my favorite players in the NFL, and the fact that he has had no one ever throw to him. One time was Kurt Warner night. They got Super Bowl because of it, and they played one of the great Super Bowls I've ever seen. Arizona and Pittsburgh was a fantastic Super Bowl. I loved it. Even though Pittsburgh won, I still loved the game. And now it's Carson Palmer. It's a little bit of an upgrade over John Skelton, whoever the heck they had last year. I remember they used 20 quarterbacks last year.
It was ridiculous.
It seemed like it was throw a dart in a dartboard, see what sticks, and nothing stuck.
Max Hall, John Skelton. I mean, there's a lot.
Kevin Kolb was over there as well.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This team, I think, is going to improve a little bit because Bruce Arians is he's a good coach. But this team does not have a chance to win this division or make a playoff push. I have them going 6-10.
Wow!
6-10. I think. Last year they were 4-12, so I think they have a little bit of improvement with Bruce Arians. I say 6. Carson Palmer's an upgrade, so I have them 6-10. We're running out of show here.
I agree. I think 6-10. I totally agree.
They have an upgrade.
I think they have an upgrade.
They have Rashard Mendenhall.
Oh, yeah, I'm impressed by that.
They have Rashard Mendenhall. They have Fitzgerald. They have Carson Palmer. They get Bruce Arians, who's a heck of a coach. You saw what he did in Indy.
St. Louis is a loss. Detroit is a loss. New Orleans is a loss. Tampa Bay is a loss. Carolina is a loss. San Francisco is a loss. Seattle is a loss. So we're at 0-7 right now. Atlanta is a loss. Houston is a loss. They're at 0-9. Jacksonville is a win. Indiana is a loss. Wow. Indianapolis, Philadelphia, maybe. So, Tennessee, maybe. I'm 3-13. Wow. I don't care. I don't care who the quarterback is. Carson Palmer the last couple of years has not showed me much at all.
Yeah.
Larry, if he can get the ball to Larry Fitzgerald, and therein lies the problem, that they're going to have. They have no other threat other than Larry Fitzgerald on that team. He is going to get double teamed, and more often than not, he can break away from 2 players. But I don't know if that's going to be good enough for them. I'm saying 3-13 last in the division.
I mean, Carson Palmer is an upgrade from, so I don't know how they can go backwards.
They've got a hell of a tough schedule this year.
I know, but I'm saying if they were...
That schedule might be the toughest in the NFL.
I'm just saying, if they were worse last year, how can they go backwards if they're better
Anybody who
quarterback?
plays in the NFC West may very well likely have the toughest schedule in the NFL.
All right, so you say 6-10. I'm in agreement with you. Maybe 5-11, and you say 3-13. So with that, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers, the Doc team. Right after this, stay tuned.
Eli, who are you talking to?
I'm not talking. I'm watching football.
Watching football?
Yeah, with DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket Max, you can watch every game every Sunday afternoon on any device, like your computer, tablet, or phone.
Football? On your phone?
Football on your phone.
It's football on your phone. It's football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, that's what I said.
It's football on your phone, you can watch it in bed.
Take it with you wherever you go.
Show your friends and watch them all go home.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, so now's your chance
To have football on your phone and football in your pants.
Look at this guy using his phone as a phone.
Your phone ain't for calling,
Your phone's for footballing.
It's football on your phone.
Yeah.
Football on your phone.
Let me ask you a question. What do you get when a football gets down with your phone?
It's football on your phone.
Yeah.
It's football on your phone.
If you're on a date with Simone,
Football on your phone.
if you're taking out a small loan,
Football on your
when
phone.
you're sitting on your throne,
Football on your phone.
when you're buttering a scone.
Football on your phone. It's like I spilled milk all over your blouse by accident or on purpose. It's like the milk is like football and your blouse is the phone.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
Football on your phone means football all the time.
Do you want that?
He does, she does, our dad does.
Does your dad want it? I mean,
It's football on your phone.
yeah.
What do you think Alexander Graham Bell would say if he saw you watching football on your phone?
Who cares? Dude's dead.
It's football on your phone.
Yeah. Get NFL Sunday Ticket.
Only on DirecTV.
Yeah.
And welcome back here on the show. We are wrapping up the divisions and getting ready to pick the playoffs. But first, let's finish the NFC West.
Can I name the whole team?
No. The Doc's team's next. The Doc's team's next.
All right, so we got Colin Kaepernick. We have.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah. We have Michael James. We have Frank Gore. We have Vernon Davis. We have Anquan Bolden. On defense, and it goes on and on and on. On defense, we have Navarro Bowman. We have Patrick Willis. We have Chris Culver. We have C.J. Spillman.
You've got one player on offense. Looney Bin.
So we have a stacked team in a stacked division. For being in the NFC West, I will say this is probably the easiest schedule out of any team in the NFC West. I will
Especially
say
like
that.
week 7 on.
However, when you have to face Seattle twice, I'm looking for them to split with Seattle. Home.
So do I.
I'm looking at another possible loss at Atlanta, and I'm looking
that's at home.
I'm still saying I'm saying
that's a revenge game.
It's a revenge game. Houston, maybe.
I think they could start out 0-2.
I think they. There's no.
That game's a toss-up. It
really is. You can't say no way.
Week 1 of the season is very tough to pick.
Yeah, you can't say no way. You can't say no way.
Look, October 20th is the same day you're going to that game. We're both going to October 20 games.
You're going to Tennessee. We're going to Indy.
Yeah, you guys are going to Indy.
You're going down south. We're going down north.
Yeah. So here it is. I think this team is a toss-up. Probably given away by now that my locked NFC wild card is whoever doesn't win the division between San Francisco and Seattle will get the wild card. So either way, both those teams will be going to the playoffs.
Barring any
13, barring any unfortunate injuries. 13-3 for me. 13-3. 14-2, maybe even 12-4, and winning for the purposes of the show, winning the division.
The only reason I'm giving them the record I am is because I have Seattle winning the division. That's just me. I have them going 11-5. I just think, again, they're a great team. No disrespect.
Oh, absolutely.
They're incredible. You
can always count on a door swinging both ways.
The rivalry between San Francisco and Seattle is the best in football right now.
Right now,
it's funny. A couple years ago, the NFC was the laughing stock of the NFL. Now it's three of the top defenses in the NFL with San Francisco, Seattle, and St. Louis is good too defensively. But I'm going 11-5. This team is scary. I'm scared of them. The game week 2 in Seattle is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it on NBC. Definitely, but San Francisco does 11-5 for me.
Another thing to note this is, if you notice, every other team has their logos on the field. San Francisco has the farewell, the candlestick logo.
Last year?
Opening up in 1971. It will be. It'll be this.
No, we had this conversation off air before. Are they getting rid of the stadium, or are they keeping it?
I still don't know. Its fate is undetermined. It is on a piece of prime real estate. My only thing is they had to go to build a new stadium. They had to go 45 minutes south at Santa Clara to get a new stadium. So what's going to happen in another 40 years when they have to build another one? Yeah. What's going to happen to Levi Stadium? Where are they going to go after that? Because they are running out of room.
Plus Super Bowl's there in 2015.
Yeah.
And also WrestleMania is supposed to be WrestleMania 31, so that's going to get a lot of exposure.
I think probably 11-5, 12-4, probably 12-4. I'm going 12-4, and they win the division.
Now we go from my team to your team,
and Big B's team.
And I'm saying, I'm gonna. They got Bobby Wagner. I was high on Bobby Wagner. Big B knows that. I think he was a great player. Bobby Wagner in the
3-0 in the preseason. But it's preseason.
Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch. The team is just incredible.
Win.
As Big B is scared of my team, I and thus am scared of his. The Seahawks. I'm looking to definitely grab the wild card position or even win the division. I'm saying 12-4, 11-5, and the 11-5 to 13-3 region for you all as well.
I totally agree. I think they're 11-5, 12-4. It's going to be neck and neck. It's going to be a photo finish for this division. To use horse racing terms here.
Like I said, barring any unfortunate injuries, both these teams are going to the playoffs.
For the sake of the show, just like the doc, I'm sticking with the 49ers to win the division. But I think the Seahawks will definitely be the wild card. But I wouldn't be shocked if they won the division. Because like I said, they're right there between the 11-5, 12-4, 13-3 record as well.
I have them going 12-4 winning the division. This team on strong last year, winning 7 of its last 8 games, getting to the playoffs. One of the hottest teams in pro football. I'm a little concerned because Percy Harvin's hurt. Hopefully they can recover from that. He should be back, I think, by week 6 or 7.
When they get him back,
yeah,
it's going to be scary.
Good lord. Legion of Boom, best corners into the game. Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, great DBs there. Bobby Wagner, fantastic talent. Bruce Irvin played well last year. He's out with 4 games because of the suspension. Hopefully Clemens comes back. But Russell Wilson, with him as their quarterback, I mean, he is so determined. He is so focused. He's doing everything he possibly can to get this team ready to go. He's a great leader. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and I think this team is going to impress. And they are my Super Bowl pick for the NFC. We're getting to that a little bit, but they're my pick for the NFC. I have them going 12-4 and winning the NFC West.
All right, so just to recap things a bit, the doc has the 49ers and Seattle winning the wild card with that. Then I have San Francisco with the Seattle wild card. Big B has Seattle with the San Francisco 49ers being the wild card. So the final team in this division to wrap up the divisions, the St. Louis Rams.
Third place in this division, I think. I think it's going to be 8-8. I've never seen a team that set themselves... I was scared of this team.
Defensively.
What they could be 2 years ago when they traded away. They had 2 first-round picks both this year and next year, and they just threw it all away. I've never seen a team shoot themselves in the foot. Fortunately for them, they have a relatively easy schedule and a strong division. I can't say that they're going to beat San Francisco or Seattle both, because we saw what happened last year.
Right.
They could easily get one on each of our teams, and I really think they're going to sweep Arizona.
Yeah.
This team could be dangerous defensively, like you said. I'd still look for them to be third place. I'm looking 8-8.
I agree with you. Last year they were 7-8-1 because that tie with you all. I have them 8-8 as well. They're no joke defensively, that's for sure. I mean, last year Seattle was 7-0 heading into the final game of the season. They already had the wild card wrapped up. They were going for division when they had to have San Francisco to Arizona, but no one was losing to Arizona at that point. And Seattle struggled against them defensively because St. Louis's defense was really great last year with Jake Long, and he was playing great. And all those players on defense are just great. Jeff Fisher's a great coach, and I think this year Sam Bradford to Tavon Austin's going to be a great thing to have happen. Steven Jackson is going. We forgot to mention he's in Atlanta now, so they're going to have struggle running back-wise. I have them going 8-8 as well. This team is good, though. They're on the up and up, and I think Fisher's got them going in the right direction.
I like this team as well to be 8-8 and finish third in the division. They're definitely on the upswing when it comes to Jeff Fisher, so it should be good stuff there as well. So with that, so it looks like we have the you all have the Bengals and I have the Steelers winning that division. We all are in agreement that the Packers are going to win the NFC North. Are you sticking with the Vikings on your wild card, or are you going with the Saints?
For the sake of the show, I'm going to go with the Vikings just because I don't know what a year away from the game does to Sean Payton.
All right, so the Doc is using his first wild card with the Minnesota Vikings. The AFC South, we both like the Colts to win the division. You have the Texans winning that division. I'll take the Texans as my first AFC wild card. Do you have a wild card out of that?
And I have the Colts as
I have the Texans as one wild card, yes.
And you have the Texans as a wild card, and you have the Colts as a wild card. The NFC South, we all have the Atlanta Falcons winning that division. You'll take the Carolina Panthers as your first NFC selection for a wild card. Then in the AFC East, we're all in agreement that the Patriots will waltz through that division. I don't think any of us have a wild card in that division.
I have the Jets going 12-4 in the Super Bowl.
What?
That changed.
The NFC East has myself picking the Giants. You pick the Cowboys and you pick the Redskins.
We all differ on that one.
We all differ on that one. I do have the Cowboys with the wild card, using my first wild card in the NFC. Doctor or Big B, did you have a wild card in this division or not?
I just had Dallas win division. That's it.
All right. So with that, the AFC West, we're all in agreement that the Broncos in a runaway and nobody getting a wild card out of that one.
Yes. He had a wild card.
Oh, that's right, yeah. You had the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's your second wild card for the AFC. And then in the final division, the NFC West, I have the 49ers along with the Doc, and we both have the Seahawks getting the wild card. And then, so that gives me the Seahawks and the Cowboys with wild cards. You have the Seahawks and Vikings. Big B takes the Seahawks to win the division and the 49ers to be the wild card. So he has the 49ers and the
AFC Championship game, guys.
Actually, running close to the break here. All right, let me see. Sorry, guys. Oh, we got a little bit of time. Okay.
AFC Championship.
I'm just writing out the division still.
Who's your AFC Championship?
The AFC Championship game, I'm going to say that it'll be the Broncos versus the Colts.
I'm going to say it's going to be the Broncos versus the Texans.
I like the Broncos. I think we're all in agreement here. Versus the Bengals. I think the Bengals is really surprised.
NFC Championship.
I'm going to say it's not impossible for it to be an NFC West showdown.
That would be incredible.
And I am picking it. 49ers, Seahawks, NFC West championship
That would be
game.
incredible.
And it's a setup. It's prime setup to do it. It really is.
I would agree with you, but I think the Falcons are going to be in there.
It's fair enough. There's 3 or 4 teams in the NFC that could be in that championship game.
I'm going to say it's going to be the Falcons, and then I could almost flip a coin, but for the sake of the show, because I picked them in the division, I'll pick the 49ers. Falcons, 49ers.
I'm picking the Seahawks to go NFC Championship, and you know what? It's not too far to think of it. I'm doing it. I'm saying Seahawks, Niners. I think they're going to split the season series, and then they're going to get to the NFC Championship. It's going to be a rubber match. Yeah,
Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yep.
So our Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, I said it last year. Me and you both said the same thing last year. I'm saying it again this year. I'm saying the 49ers and the Broncos in Super Bowl 48. And I'm going to say the 49ers just because I feel like being a homer. I've made several good predictions over the course of the last few years.
Is that wrong with being a homer?
For one game, I can be a homer. I'm saying the 49ers.
My Super Bowl is the Seahawks and the Broncos. And the reason I pick Seattle is because I think where they're playing helps them. I think they're playing in a colder environment, which kind of helps Seattle live, because it does get cold up there sometimes in Seattle. So
it gets colder in Denver.
Yeah, it gets way colder in Denver.
But I think the conditions, like it's rainy, it's a little bit colder. I think that I favor Seattle a little bit, so I pick Seattle.
I will go Falcons Broncos in the Super Bowl.
What do you got?
And I'm taking the Falcons. Not really. Not really. I'm taking the Broncos. Are you kidding me? I'm going to take the Falcons on a bet. I'm taking the Falcons to beat the Broncos to beat the Falcons in Super Bowl. That's what I'm going with.
All right, so my pick Super Bowl is Seahawks, Broncos. I pick Seahawks. You have Broncos, Falcons. Pick the Broncos, and you have Niners,
Broncos, and he picks the 49ers.
So we all have the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
That's not. I think we all did that last year.
Yeah, we did last year.
My Super Bowl last year was the same. I think it was.
I think it was.
No, I had Niners. I had Niners.
How much time we got left?
How much time we got left, sir?
1 minute.
All right. Any outstanding predictions? I can't think of any yet right now.
Carolina's going to be a better team.
Okay.
Kansas City. Dallas is going to be good. Watch out for that defense in Dallas. Watch out for that defense in Carolina. It's going to be a great football season. A lot of surprises. A lot of teams have new key pieces.
I think one of my big predictions is Big B's going to be in a psycho ward at the end of the year.
Well, we know one thing's for sure. Big B will be last in pick'em. So that's one thing we can count on. So that wraps it up for the football special for 2013. Big B.
If you want to like us on Facebook, please click that like button. Facebook.com/triplethreattalk. Follow us on Twitter all season long so you can see our football predictions at Twitter.com/triplethreattalk. You can send us any comment or question you have in your football predictions at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. Visit our website, triplethreattalk.com, for all our insights and analysis on the NFL season this year. This is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones. Go Broncos!
This is Gary the Dr. Locker. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Cheryl. Go Niners!
This is Big B signing off, saying, just like Russell Wilson says all the time, go Hawks. See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.